I've always said, dream the impossible dream. It's possible. Well, August 9th of 2021, I put an FB post on the official Leaving the Monastery group saying, wouldn't it be a dream come true if we had a neighborhood where Dr. Joe students live and do daily walking meditations at the beach in the morning and the evenings? Imagine the vibe. Well, what happened next is nothing short of a miracle. Hundreds of people chimed in and said, yes, count me in California, Florida, Mexico, Costa Rica, Europe. And you'll never guess what happened next.
Turn left onto Belle Meade Island Drive, then the destination is on your right.
In minutes, we will be meeting with Patrick Farrell on Belle Meade Island, Florida, so that he can share with us this community home that just started on September 4th when he got the keys. This adventure began just August 9th of 2021, less than 30 days. Let's get started. So we are here at the first community Dr. Joe location, and there's Patrick. As you can tell, it's a very nice, big, spacious home. So I love, this is a gorgeous kitchen. I love the kitchen. It's nice and big and beautiful, and oh my gosh, look at, there's water. Oh my gosh, how will you ever leave this place? I will self-quarantine here. Look at that pool. Oh my gosh, and look at your backyard. Check these nice French windows. Oh my goodness, and look at the water back there. Let's go.
Yeah, we had it was a really nice gathering. Everybody was sitting here. There was like a little ceremony.
There's the water, and there's the pool. And there is a huge big smile on Claudia's face because she's going, God answers prayers. And Patrick's going, yes, he does.
I've spent the last like 5 years living in community, and it's been really, really powerful. Actually, the most transformational thing I think I could imagine. I don't think I could be the person I am today if it wasn't for all this community building that I've done. I did something called Nomad Cruise, where we went from Cartagena, Colombia to Portugal, which is like an immersive experience because you're going to a conference with each other in the morning, you're going to lunch together, you're going in the afternoon, there was workshops that were created, and then you're going to dinner together, and you're going out in the evening together. So it was like, and even like people would like have jam sessions, they would like have guitars playing and all this like community, and it felt really good. And I would teach Acroyoga on the cruise and all sorts of stuff.
Yes. What's Acroyoga?
What is Acroyoga? Acroyoga is partner yoga. So it's a form of yoga where you're like, the person lays down, the other person's like on their feet, and then they're doing acrobatic exercises with yoga poses as well. And it actually is a really great way to get in shape too, and a fun way to get in shape. So actually in South Beach, just like 10 miles away, we do that on Wednesdays and Sundays here. So Miami is a great place to be very active, have a lot of fun. Acroyoga classes, all these things were super transformative because you're around other people, and I think like, if you follow Tony Robbins, like he's got like this fire walk, right? And it's like stepping outside your comfort zone. And Acroyoga is one way, but it's like I had to do something to step outside my comfort zone, and quitting my job was a huge piece of that, right? So I literally got on a cruise ship, or first I quit my job. So I had to like quit my job, leave my entire life in New York City, and that was very, very scary and challenging, but also exciting, which is what I realized I was not conscious of at the time, but I was like, clear intention, right? Dr. Joe, clear intention, elevated emotion. That was exactly what it was, but I wasn't conscious, but I knew that's what the recipe was. I saw this ad for Nomad Cruise, which I was going back to, and I was like, oh my God, that is it. I was so excited. And I was like, okay, clear intention, Facebook ad, Nomad Cruise, elevated emotion, book the trip, changed my entire life. And if I hadn't seen that one ad, I don't know where I would be today. But I also realized like that's been the recipe my entire life. I quit my job, or I quit my job in Washington D.C. and moved to New York City, and that was a whole growth experience that was really, really powerful. I studied abroad in Australia, and I was so excited to go to Australia. And actually, stepping outside my comfort zone terrified me in Australia. And I was like, I was 14,000 miles away. I landed in Australia. I didn't know a soul in the entire continent, and I freaked out. And I almost left, honestly. I was like, I am so uncomfortable, and I was so terrified. I was like 19 years old at the time, so I really hadn't done anything like this yet, but I realized everything you want is on the other side of fear. So, you know, like I was safe, I was in Australia, like it wasn't a bad place to be, but I was just uncomfortable. So I had to step through that discomfort and then embrace and expand my own energy to be comfortable now 14,000 miles away from everything I knew. So once I did that, I think if I hadn't done that, I don't think I would have been as comfortable traveling around the world as digital nomad as I am too, because like I was never that uncomfortable again when I was traveling. Like even in like Southeast Asia, which is like the most like weird, like different culture, I guess I would say, than our normal culture of the Western Hemisphere, I was still much more comfortable. So if I hadn't gone and had that level of discomfort, even though I was in like almost like an Americanized country, I don't know where I would be today. So then it was the community living, right? It's like I was and actually like in Australia I was in community living. I was in dorms that were like dorms, college living, but it was a special type of community living too, because I was around other international students. And sometimes we get around like our little culture that you don't push yourselves out of your comfort zone, you don't learn from different cultures. So I think that's been a huge part of my journey as well. And I think on Nomad Cruise, there's usually like 65 different countries represented of all these digital nomads that are working from their laptop, that are traveling around the world, that are making a living from exactly what we're talking into right now, which is a camera, their microphone and their computer, and making YouTube channels and making awesome content that really is inspiring. And I think that if I hadn't watched YouTube channels like yourself, like you've created, I don't know if I would have had the ideas, because your subconscious needs to see something exist before you actually take action. So it was actually people that were doing that lifestyle on YouTube, and I was seeing people take the action, I was seeing people live that lifestyle, and I was like, okay, I have the skills. I have skills of being a software engineer. I know I can do this, but I have to put myself in the right environment in order to make it happen. So I had to put myself in an environment which was this cruise, and I then expanded into, okay, now I can learn how to be a freelancer, because I've now put myself in an environment with other people that were being freelancers and entrepreneurs. And it took a while. It definitely took a while for me to go from where I was as a 9 to 5, because I think you do have to like change your entire mindset. It's like a big shift. But once I shifted into this like entrepreneur freelancer role, then I got really excited and I started going to other community houses. I lived in one in Los Angeles, and that expanded me, and like now I was like not around entrepreneurs and people that were making like $5,000 a month. I was around entrepreneurs that are making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So that helped me really see what was possible. And that community living like pushed me into another level. And because they're your roommates, they're also your friends, they are like supporting me. We had masterminds every Monday where they would help me. They would help me sell things. They would help me step outside my comfort zone. We would get up in the morning and we would do co-working sessions and be really disciplined about our work. And I want to bring that to this co-working space, co-living, co-working space that we're currently in. There's an idea of like, my friend called it 50-10s. So you like set the intention for us all to work together for 50 minutes without talking and clearly do something that we need to get done, and then you have 10 minutes to socialize, go to the bathroom, things like that, and then you do it again. So you like do sprints. So it's like, let's do 3 or 4 sprints in the morning, and by collectively working together, you're also, I think, able to get deeper into like a meditative state when you're like all sitting around the table, which I'm really realizing right this minute of why that's might be more powerful to do. And then I left LA and I went to travel for Europe, and then I lived in this other co-living house which had 17 roommates, so it was much bigger. What do we have? We had 2 kitchens, we had 8 or 9 bedrooms per floor, we had a rooftop which we had gatherings for parties, and I ran a retreat there, I ran business mastery retreat there. We had what was called the Blue Room, which was like an event space, just like you're seeing right now, where we would have like little small gatherings, concerts, people coming over and seeing that it's possible. So we just moved in just like a week ago, and this actually kitchen was very similar to the one I had in LA, which is actually very nostalgic of my co-living house in LA. And my intention is to have gatherings here. We already had 2 parties where we came over, people brought potluck, and we all had like a gathering together. But we're also going to do some type of, I think we're going to do like cooking classes. People come over, learn how to cook. We want to build a garden in the backyard so that we can have a garden so we can eat our own food. And we're in Florida, so it should be easy to grow stuff all year long. So it'll be nice. I'm excited about the kitchen, which is really large, and I love the island. We have kind of 2 different event spaces. I'm keeping this wall open right now so I can get a projector so that we can project like a big conference. Maybe we can project some Dr. Joe content, Tony Robbins content, Mind Valley. I love all forms of personal development, and I love also teaching my own versions and taking my own life skills with it. So super excited about this like living room area that we have to have more workshops. Big open space here. I think we can also move this table out so we could have yoga classes all throughout the house. And we've already done some Kundalini and yoga classes here in this space already, and there's no furniture here on purpose right now because we want the space to be open to do classes and do yoga. We might get some pillows so that it's a comfortable space. And I also talked to some, there's a small concert venue company that comes over and will bring amazing musicians from around Miami and the world. And I'm thinking that we'll do a small like 20-30 person concert in this room as well, which would be really awesome. And then you guys want to come outside. So we have our outdoor area. I can't believe this is my backyard, to be honest with you. It's incredible to see that this has come together in such an incredible way and so quickly, actually. This was only an idea a month ago, and now we've turned it into my actual place where I live. Just this past weekend, we had about 50 people hanging out here, little ceremonies, and it was a birthday party for a friend. We put the table over there, had all this food and stuff set up, so you can envision like all these amazing people just hanging out. We did a meditation as well, so like definitely see the meditation vibes of the Dr. Joe content coming into it in the future. And then we had a DJ set up over there, so people were dancing in this area over here as well. We have not yet had a boat pull up, but that is the intention, and the hope is that there will be boats pulling up to our house, and maybe we can even run an event and go out on the boat because the bay is just a little bit that way. And then we clearly have a pool too, and we had kids hanging out in the pool. So like, I love like all different age groups. Actually, Nomads Cruise has been like, I would say there was age groups of like 5, or yeah, probably 5 was probably the youngest, all the way up to like 75, 80. Like, so it's a very wide age range, and I think that's really powerful because we want to be learning from all ages. We want to be learning from kids. We want to be learning from older adults, right? And that's another part about community living, is that we're supposed to do this. Why did we get in this mindset of like living in these apartments by ourselves? And I don't know. I think that community living is one of the most powerful things that you can use to really accelerate your life in a very quick way. And I know that that happened for me. So this is our dock. Past weekend we had a DJ set up right over here. All these lights turn on. We can actually turn them on right now just to kind of change up the energy. So we had this all set up. We had tiki torches set up. We had the fire pit going over here, and people were dancing. It was really fun to like see everybody dancing and having a great time. I even flew the drone from right here, and we got a great picture. Maybe I can send that to you for this video. And it's just really cool to realize that this is possible. Anything is possible. And I actually really do believe that the Dr. Joe event that I went to, the manifestations that were happening during that event, I was setting the intention, and actually it's in my mind movie, a house in Miami. And the next one that's not there yet is in my mind movie, a house in Denver. So let's manifest a house in the mountains is the next one, because I want to be able to go between. And that's part of this vision too for this community, is that we have multiple houses around the United States and around the world, and you can trade between. So you always know that you're going to be around like-minded people, like-hearted people as well. I think that's an important part of it. And that you can go feel like you're part of something that you know well, no matter where you go. And that's actually a world that I already live in, because I could probably show up in most major cities, Bali, places in Europe, definitely Lisbon, Portugal, and I would immediately have friends. And actually I showed up in Tulum, immediately have friends. Even though they're not necessarily my direct friends yet, they're part of the community. And the intention is to grow this community so we can trade between houses. We can, let's say we do an event where we bring people here into Miami for 2 weeks to a month and run events and collaborate, or we go to a ski resort, which I want to do this winter. Let's go to a ski resort and go skiing every day, and then we'll do our meditations in the morning and have fun, and in the evening, I don't know, go to dinners and things like that as well. So I think anything is possible when you start to work on community, because the reality is I would not have the money to live here if I was just my own person, right? It's a $2.7 million house that we're sitting in right now, and by using the power of community, everything is more possible in this world, because now we're able to share resources, share expenses, and honestly that's way more fun. Lastly, like, I do see this, yes, this might be a challenge if somebody was like a family or whatever, but I see this going into neighborhoods. That's why we're having this, we want to build this whole neighborhood. Maybe on Belle Meade Island we have the whole neighborhood, and different people in the neighborhood live in the neighborhood with us. Maybe we get an apartment building. Anything is really possible right now. And going back to that mindset and like the subconscious, seeing something that's possible before you can actually take action and know that it's possible for you. Like, I think that's so powerful to think about in terms of community, because I wouldn't have known this was possible if I hadn't seen somebody else do it myself. And I also wouldn't have shifted my own beliefs, because the people that had been there before me started to shift my beliefs. Because I didn't grow up with these beliefs. I didn't grow up that I would want to live in a place like this. But by me putting myself around other people that were already doing it, I was able to shift my beliefs. And then this wouldn't have been possible had I not been there before. So my hope is that I can show, thank you for making this video as well, because I can show the world this is possible, and then we can just continue rising up from here. So that's the intention, is to show the world what is possible, and that we can live in a community like this. Group that helped me expand my mindset as well.
You're kidding!
No, we've known each other for years.
So long, man. I think it's 7 years now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so do talk about that. So that is very serendipitous. So go ahead and talk about.
So a friend of mine just showed up, Derek, and again, community is actually so important. And this is one of my good friends from another community I was part of, called Inner Confidence in the past, and our friend Jesse and Robbie created that community, and there's a lot of personal development in that as well. And I learned how to step into a power that I didn't know was possible. And those connections stay with us. Like, we are still connected. I've seen him in Tulum just recently, and now he literally walked into my house. So I didn't even know he was going to be here right this minute. I knew that he was coming to Miami, but I didn't know he was going to be here right this minute. So it's pretty amazing to see this coming together. Honestly, this was a little bit scary to do. Definitely not the easiest thing to sometimes step past that comfort zone, because I talked about before, like, you always have to step past that comfort zone. But there's magic. Like, when you step into the unknown, I can tell you the unknown has never let me down. So the continuing to step in that unknown and know that something else on the other side is possible, like yourself showing up and making videos and helping me radiate this message out to the world, I knew would happen. It just, like, will start to magnetically attract. But I did have to push past that. Like, when I first signed the lease, when I first walked in the door, I was like, okay, am I ready for this? But I truly believe I am, and more people are coming around me and knowing that this is possible, and I'm showing the world the way to a new life that I think the world needs right now, in my opinion. So as long as I continue to step into that, and there's a great Steve Jobs quote that I've always thought of, which is, you can't see the dots moving forward, but you can always connect the dots moving backwards. And every single thing to make this happen, I have so many little dots that allow me to make this happen, because the vision that I have for you and that I've talked about so far as well is all of the life experience I've had. Like being on that cruise ship, seeing the conference, seeing the workshops that were happening, going to Airbnbs and doing barbecues in the backyard, which is very similar to the place we're in right now, going around the world, seeing travel, changing up your environment. That's why I don't think it's important just to have this house. I think it's important to have the Denver house, and I think it's important to have the Lisbon house and all these things, because you're going to need to really transform. You're going to need to change up your environment, and I want to make it easier for you to do that and you to feel comfortable too, because yes, I think discomfort is important, but it's also not so fun to be on Airbnb all the time trying to find new places and deal with all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know that I'm going to a great place. I know that I'm going to have a great community when I arrive, and make that part of the travel less scary so that you can focus on the transformation part of it. And I think that's what I have seen, that if I look back on my life and know that my own life has been all of this transformation, it's like little levels of my life, and it's like I'm playing a video game, and that level, next level, this was a pretty big leap, and I'm actually kind of still scared, but I know that with this video and other things that are happening and more events that are going to be put out in the world, that I just have to trust that everything will come together. So that's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, the clear intention and the elevated emotion, like I had to set this clear intention that I wanted to build my own community. I've been around other communities. I started my own community as a virtual and workshop community, but I was running events out of my apartment. I was running events out of other people's apartments, and I was like, I need a physical space. And following that dot, setting that clear intention, I do believe the universe will help you. And when I went to Daybreaker, actually just about a month ago, so all this happened within about a month. It's really insane that all this happened this quickly, and it felt easy is kind of the important part. Is feeling easy was part of it. Doesn't mean that I didn't have scary emotions come up about it. That doesn't mean that, because I did. But I was like, okay, this does feel easy. This does feel aligned. And it was like, okay, this person that I just met, my business partner Giselle that came in, she was basically finding houses, and she was like, had a very similar vision of building a community house. And we met at a Daybreaker event, which is like a dance party, just about a month ago. And then we went to lunch, just like you were talking about, and we started chatting. And once we had that lunch, our visions kind of aligned, and she then was looking for houses, and I was actually not here. I was actually up in New York City, and she's like, Patrick, I found this beautiful house. I need to move in here. Do you want to do this with me? And she's been asking, or people have asked her to do other things in the past, but it hasn't been somebody that she felt aligned with enough to actually make it happen. So because us two had an aligned vision together, then she asked me, and I was like, well, I guess I have to make this happen, because I've been wanting this. I can't say no to this opportunity. It was actually an incredible deal as well, and the owner of this property is understanding our vision, and that's partially why we got this at a little bit cheaper price than it would normally be. It's a $2.7 million house that we have gotten for a little bit less than the mortgage, but not a lot less. So it's still, that scary feeling is there, because it is money, it is energy that I have to make sure that I have enough to pay for the property. But when I saw what was happening already, on Saturday we had like 50 people over here having a beautiful ceremony, having a lot of fun. I just knew that this was it. Like, I knew that it was supposed to happen. I knew that I continue doing this, like we continue having events, and people text me the next day, so I felt so much love, I felt so much connection here, and new connections were formed. And that's really how Derek and I met several years ago, and those connections that we have and other people have changed our life in so many positive ways. And my hope is that this space also is a dot that hope other people can add to their list of dots that allow them to transform their life into something very, very powerful. This is the woman that actually made all this happen, to actually get the house, negotiate the contracts, really make this possible, both financially and with the intention to actually create this community. And then we had aligned vision together to make it happen together. So
thank you. Yes, and we are super aligned. We had the same vision. We met not that long ago, and we shared exactly the same values and the same vision for the community building and the house.
Wow.
So it was a right click. We didn't think about it. It was like a soul connection that it's coming from other lives, and we made it happen. So with both energies together, combined, we made this happen. Because I wouldn't have done it alone. I wanted a partner. So.
And it was very quick, and it happened like we've only known each other for about a month, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I was not even here for about half of that time. So, and now we moved in, and hopefully we can get other people to move in this community. We already have actually friends in this community, just very close by. And we do have Dr. Joe students, actually. We met at this house at our party. So these people have been to Dr. Joe just very recently, this past weekend, and we would love to have meditations and stuff like that as well for the community. So
Yes. We want to be at service and create a space for entrepreneurs and light workers, different people with different backgrounds and different gifts to share with the community and hold space and also share our gifts.
Yes.
That we are the perfect combination between spirituality, mindfulness, and we both have corporate backgrounds. We come from a career in corporate, and we're transitioning to this nomadic life and creating and building community together.
And make it easier for people to have this life. Make it easier to show you that this life is possible, and then create a space. Like it was like in a whole transformation process that I had to go through to believe that I was living in New York City, paying rent and $3,000 a month rent in a studio apartment to travel around the world as a digital nomad and then building my own business. So I want to know that, I want to show everybody that that's possible, and I hope this space can help people step into that power.
Yeah, and we are manifesting miracles together.
Yes, we are. Another thing that I've found is during my travels is making videos like you're making right now can be a really big challenge. There's so much to it in terms of getting the content off of this camera, getting the content off of your drones and your iPhones and all sorts of stuff. And one of my other missions in the world, besides all this community living, is to help make this easier for content creators. Because as I've been traveling, I realized that there wasn't any really good software to help manage and organize and make sure it was also backed up. Because if you're traveling around the world and you're in Bali or you're in these places where you're not having good internet connection, you don't really have the bandwidth to get all gigabytes worth of content up online to back it up. And also organize it, because there was so much time and energy before I even got to the editing process. It's not my intention to redo what Adobe did. That's not what I'm trying to do. They've already done that in a very powerful way. But what they don't do is they don't help you get it off of the camera, organize it so that you can find it 6 months, 5 years, 10 years down the line in a way that's organized and easy for you. And then it also saves your time. So what I was doing was in 2017, basically I was trading a lot of I was trading a lot of photography and videography work for going on retreats for free. That was how I kind of hacked my money mindset and my money in 2017 to go on these retreats, travel around the world for free in exchange for making videos and taking pictures for retreats. And I would want to be part of the retreat, right? I wouldn't want to just be on camera and doing this stuff, but some of these people that were hiring me wanted me to make content in real time. So if I want to make content in real time, well, I don't want to be like spending all my time and energy taking the SD card, organizing it, backing it up, and then editing it. No, like I want to be interacting with people. I want to be having fun. I want to be being part of the retreat. So the software that I've created has allowed me to get about hundreds, probably 200 to 300 hours of my time back, and then I was able to participate in the experiences I was wanting to be part of. So that is the intention, is to be able to make it so much easier for you to be a content creator, for you to step outside your comfort zone and actually travel, have fun, but not be so overwhelmed by organizing the content. And literally, as we're doing this video, we're showing you guys the house, I'm literally getting a text message from another Dr. Joe student. She said, I just got back from Marco Island. I'm so elated. I would love to be involved. I'm in Key Biscayne with 7 or 8 other Dr. Joe students. So people want this, and they're excited, and we want to have this community so other people can step into their power, and let's make it happen. So the house is a 3-bedroom house. We have 3 roommates here, but we also have a spare apartment downstairs that we're also renting out, which has its own kitchen, so we're about to show you guys that.
so it's attached.
Yeah, it's attached. Let me see if I can find it. So this is actually an example. So this is actually an example because as you move into a community house, you might not want to always be around everybody all the time. So it is great to have the spare apartment down here that we can close the door and you can have your own apartment, you have your own kitchen, you have your own refrigerator, but you're just like a few steps away from everybody in the community, so you can still have your own space. So I do see in the vision not necessarily wanting to be always in a direct community house where you're sharing a kitchen and stuff all the time, but you're close by. So this is an example of what's possible if we are able to have apartments that are attached to these houses. So this particular one in this house is a studio, but it's actually a fairly spacious studio. I can see a whole living room being set up. Here we have a bed. It has actually an extra room over here and a bathroom. All this is its own property in itself, and it has a spare, its own entrance as well. So you can actually enter without coming through the main house, which is a very great addition to being able to live here. But by being in this apartment, you're still just in the house as well, so you have access to all the events, you have access to the community that is clearly the intention of being a part of something like this. So this is like a spare bedroom that we have here. You could put, if you had a kid, a child, you could probably put them in here. We have its own bathroom, full shower in here as well. So you still have a lot of space while you're still part of the community house.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your own entrance that you can come in and out of without going through the rest of the house.
Nice.
So Lillian, it was actually a Facebook post that got us here in person, so thank you for coming. And it's so cool to thank you for making this video. Thank you for being part of making this vision a reality. I would love to know, like, what inspired you to make that post? Why do you want to? Because this clearly attracted you to what your vision was.
Yeah, well, after having been to several Dr. Joe events starting in 2019 in June, and talking to so many Dr. Joe students continuously since June of 2019 until now, we've talked about not just traveling together to Dr. Joe events, but actually, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing to actually be able to live in a neighborhood, in a community where we all lived in the same neighborhood, close enough together where we would be able to go to, do walking meditations by the beach, and just have more contact with each other, where we're having, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with each other. We go, we do our work, we do whatever our thing is, and then come back also at the end of the day, and maybe collaborate as we have different professions and so forth that can dovetail together, that we can support each other, and just have that like-minded community where you have, as you know, anytime you go to a Dr. Joe event, the vibration and the energy in the room is off the charts.
Yep.
It's incredible what you feel, and it's incredible what it does to you. And so as we kept on talking about it, but I didn't see anything like gelling. So that's why I went ahead and leaving the monastery, I put that, what if, we could create a community where we all live in a particular geographical region, where we are in a particular city, where whether it's, a large house or whether it's a neighborhood, that we all come together and we just start to, all come together and live under either one roof or several roofs, depending on how many houses. It really is open depending on, everybody's needs are different. So as we started to get, you saw the feedback, we had like 200-300 people immediately. It's like, that would be amazing. That's in my mind movie.
Yep.
So when I connected with you and you said that, that you had lived in community houses and that you're about to, put something together, it just was like, oh my gosh, this is it's an action taker, someone who's good at manifesting. Let's find out. It's connecting the dots, and let's have those conversations. And so as we did our Zoom calls, it became very apparent that, wow, this is not something 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the line. This is now.
It's now.
In 2020, that Facebook post, I don't even think it's 30 days old.
Yep.
We've had 2 Zoom calls with half a dozen or a dozen people, and who knows how many other people have watched. I'll have to look and see, because I don't really know how many people have watched on YouTube, maybe 50 or 100 people, something like that. But the bottom line is that people are willing to take action right now. And since you, Patrick, you said that as of our last, our first Zoom call, you said you were going to be getting keys on the 4th of September, which is just 2 days before I was arriving to Florida for the Dr. Joe AFU. I thought, OMG, isn't it interesting that I'm going to be in Florida when you're getting the keys? I go, what if I can go tour Belle Meade and actually be here and see right after, not even a week after you moved in, because this just happened on the 4th.
Yep.
Today's the 12th?
Today's the 13th, I think.
Today's
so
the 13th?
less than 10 days it's happened, and now we have the house, and we've already had 2 events here. So it's pretty amazing to see how quickly it's come together. And people saw the vision and saw what we're doing. So people already want to run their own events here, which is part of the. It's not just our space to run events, it's other people's space within the community to run events, so that enables other people to shine their light and to be able to find their voice, honestly. Like, the way I speak right now, like, wasn't me 5 years ago. I had to, like, step into that. I had to practice. I had to do that stuff. And I want this to be a space for other creators and other collaborators to step into their power.
So that's what it's about, empowering people to do what they think is the impossible, which we now know really is no such thing as anything being impossible.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you, Patrick, for having the courage to feel the fear, do it anyway. You're having courage, which is having heart. You're really staying heart and brain coherent and being heart-centered and following your passion. And things are rising up to meet you in ways that nobody can explain other than you had a clear intention. You married it with an elevated emotion. That elevated emotion is love, gratitude, appreciation. Sometimes it's fear, and you morph it into enthusiasm and excitement, because you're like, I'm going to do this anyhow. It's like, no, I'm not nervous. No, I'm not afraid. I'm like pumped. I'm jacked. I'm thrilled. And then you morph it into a positive, uplifting instead of an energy sucking, emotion, and you do it, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you couldn't imagine all the things. I mean, just like today, you didn't expect Derek to show up.
Nope.
And Derek shows up to here, and you're like, wait a minute, you met him at another event. And
I've known him for like 7 years. So it's like we all are connecting. We need space for us all to connect and come back together. And Derek has actually I've been at events with him in Tulum where he ran events, so hopefully he can run events here. So there's a lot of potential when we come together and collectively manifest.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to say thank you for stepping out and just creating your own reality and for applying the formula and then being bold and sharing very open-heartedly with all of us. There's a development in Panama that's actually in the works also, believe it or not. There's a guy named Chris Newberry, another Dr. Joe student, and that's basically after the Orlando event in April, he had 2 plots of land in Panama, and in 60 days after that event, now he has 8 plots of land, which is basically the whole island. I believe he showed me a picture. So that's going to take a few years to develop because he just bought that land. He's got 1 house, but that's another community that's being built brand new as we speak. There's 2 Aboriginal tribes that live there that are going to be supporting that community. He's already talked to because they're friends of his. He knows the shamans there. So they're excited about the employment and about being able to support the community there.
Yeah.
So that's another. So there's several places in the works right now, and I know you're actively working on creating another community house in Denver. I'm going to see what I can do to create one in Huntington Beach.
There we go. And it's not, it's like when we have the energy together, right? It's like I do want to create a second one, but I got to work on this one first. But if there's other people that are already doing this, let's work together. Let's collaborate and come under one type of umbrella, and then somebody from here might want to go there, somebody from those houses might want to run events here, and there's endless opportunities for us to collaborate as well as create our own reality as well. So
as I'm here sitting with you, there's one of Dr. Joe's students who is a retired, I believe he's a retired software engineer. Maybe he's still an active software engineer, but Barry Radu and the Leading the Monastery who created zeemaps. And so all the Dr. Joe students from all the different countries, you can put yourself on zeemaps. So I'm going to talk to him to see if he will start to put maybe a different sort of icon so we can identify this community house on the map.
Yeah.
And we can start to put them so that way On the right-hand side, he has it set so that you can plug into any walking meditation group anywhere in the world. You just go to the right side, you see who the person is leading that walking meditation group, and then you connect to them with their name, their phone number, and their email. So we can do the same thing with the community houses. I know he would be more than open to do that. I will put you in connection
Please do, yeah.
with him.
That sounds great.
And then we'll look to have that on there, and we'll include that in the video so people can go, okay, well, you know, this is where this community house is, where are there others, and we just start to move and grow and keep the vision going.
And I'm a nomad, so I definitely still want to be traveling, going to different places. I think it's important, so we have to do more stuff. We have to create more places, but I wanted this to still thrive. So that means that when I go travel, there will be a room available for somebody else to come in and fill that space. So that's also the intention, is for us to have it easier for you to travel within the community. So.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Patrick,
you so much.
for sharing your space, your vision, your dream, and your manifestation.
Yes, we got it. Thank you so much for making this video and being who you are. And thank you for making that post. Great. Form people into a new version of their life. And some people are going to resonate with different people. So I want to have different type of people and different experiences. And then we do Kundalini classes and we do yoga classes and all sorts of stuff. Maybe also want to throw in some ideas of what we want.
Yeah, I think looking at the different aspects, I mean, I like the Kundalini aspect, I like the collab, the video creators and what you're doing with software, which I think is really groundbreaking. I think anything having to do with personal growth mindset, so forth. Also the yoga that you mentioned, that's the couples yoga. I've never heard of
Acroyoga, yeah.
Acroyoga. I am very intrigued by that. I think that would be a lot of fun. It's another great way to get in shape. And so I don't think a lot of people have heard, I've never heard, even though I've done yoga before, I've never heard of that.
It's my, pushing myself outside my comfort zone, pushing other people outside their comfort zone. Sometimes people don't want to do it. They're like, oh! And then I can watch them go from fear to bliss in a second. And it's powerful.
And it's amazing.
And that is a shift you can make in somebody's life in a very instant moment. So I do like Ecker for that too.
Yeah, I like that. Because you're also bringing together the male and the female, divine and feminine energy. And there's something about feels like you're integrating energies when you're doing that type of work. So I think that's really important too. In this time where we have so much polarization and all that.
My car.
So it's just another thing to bring you closer together and as a whole human being to get balanced and to experience more in life. So I think that's Acroyoga. I'm totally looking forward to.
Yeah. Definitely some classes for that.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to throw in some?
I would say that everything sounds like it's really designed for elevating all parts of your health. And to see this place and this community will also have really good physical fitness.
Yeah.
I just vision that I'm just seeing this image of all these people who are so spiritual and working on all these aspects of their life, and it could be also fitness and great food, really transformational nutrition.
Very whole.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be doing that.
Another leader of the community.
Come join us. We're about to do a meditation. Come sit down.
I love meditation.
Watch the camera.
Yeah, let's open this up a little bit more.
We're just saying intentions, and then clear intention, elevated emotion is Dr. Joe's recipe for change. So he was just saying about really healthy lifestyle, healthy food, all sorts of things like that. So
conscious marketing too.
conscious marketing.
What is your definition of conscious marketing?
Oof, I think that we should do the meditation mentality later because it's the opposite to marketing actually.
Space for a lot of people. Have a lot of fun too. We had a lot of fun on this weekend, so I want people to have fun and gather.
Yeah.
In a very awesome.
It was his birthday.
I had a lot of fun.
He was narrated, initiation. It was amazing.
What is on your neck? That's so cool.
Yeah.
This is a gift somebody gave me on my birthday.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it was a Devon, I'm not sure.
Might be.
5D, copper wire device.
Maybe it's
basically
copper
really
wire.
expensive,
Eye-catching.
but
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you just wear a little heart stone. Change it up.
Yeah, of course, but your way.
You got this cool 5D
But
technology.
Oh, yeah.
I've been seeing so many.
And
videos
Nassim,
lately.
this is a Nassim? Oh, I was about to buy it last year. It's amazing. I was going to receive it as a gift for my birthday last year, actually. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So we
Does it work?
I think so. I think like everything, you
You feel
know,
it?
when you are aware, like it's like there's so many things happening around us, but like sometimes we don't pay attention. But when you pay attention, yes, I do. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we meditate, do you want to put any clear intentions into the house and the community that you want to create?
Absolutely. Financial freedom.
It's a good one.
Leave my lawyer job and do healing and coaching and facilitating full time. Definitely that intention. That's strong right now. And for my new program to flourish and find all the people that will serve and impact their lives tremendously, for it to find them. And yeah, that's the intention right now. To keep co-creating magically fun experiences that are co-created where people are enjoying doing the work together.
I love it. Yeah. Financial freedom is one for me because I feel like as soon as I have that, like I can do so much more. And it'll just be easy. You're not worried about paying your like basic bills to the grocery store. You're like
the amount that I've been accomplishing while working full time as an attorney is astounding. When I can shed myself of that, in the amount of effort and meditation it takes for me to get in the zone, to get into my left brain and do that. Yeah, I have to be able to put that energy into all of the visions, the creations, the community building would be phenomenal. I get you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
All the energy will be freed up to build this, and that'll be amazing. So.
Yeah, thank you for you did the same thing I did. Like took the plunge on an abundant house, a year and a half ago. And,
so much.
And I had a little bit of fear of doing that myself.
Yeah.
Spirit said, no, think abundant, and it transformed everything for me. So it was like a great investment.
Yeah, it was scary. I talked about it in the video earlier, but it was also, I felt easy actually too, because like we only did this within a month, right? So it also felt easy, even though it was scary. So.
Yeah, I remember like he said to me, I feel a little bit nervous. No, everything is okay, let's do it.
It's okay to feel the emotions, feel nerves gonna come out, and then let it out, and then ask the spirit what's right. What's real.
Yeah, I think like my intention would be to leave a footprint in the world that right now needs it so much, and each of us have some expertise in certain areas that combined can produce that big footprint. And in my case, like the science behind it with Dr. Joe's work. I think that what I like you say, traveling around the world, bringing all that information that from things that we have learned, like as a team leader for Dr. Joe and part of the brain mapping team, I think I have witnessed enough transformation to be able to transmit, like you were saying, that those things that we gather, that we can just have that, transmit that to people who either are starting or they're just kind of like stuck over it. So we just can fast track.
And that's why I love helping. Like, you have so much wisdom and knowledge that every community builder would need, right? And that's what I love bringing out of people. So sometimes they don't even realize their own gifts, and then they can realize that they can create an offer and make money from that. So
yes,
that's what I want to
that is true.
So,
that is true.
People don't realize that your body is holding so much wisdom that the world needs right now. So, and you should be abundantly paid for it. So.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. You're saying that I could get assistance to like learn how to community build while helping me build community. Maybe for it.
Let's do it. Whatever you want to create, we can create.
You can monetize just about anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can get VAs, we can do all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I think we can all we can have offers up. We'll talk about that later. But basically, yes, we can be abundant through the skills that are living just within us right now.
Exactly.
So.
Last intention is for the new location for the Temple of Love to be brought forth, for that vision
Love it.
to come forth.
If it could be in this,
We can do it
could be in this
together.
neighborhood, that'd be really nice too.
a lot seems to be coming over in this direction.
Yeah, everything seems to be coming in this direction, including many visions were of a Florida community, and hey, we have it. There's
Yeah,
more people.
yeah. Wow.
All right.
And for a moment, I'm your center.
Put that on, I guess.
And take a breath in through your heart. And breathe life into your body. And as you exhale now, let go of the day. And another breath with awareness. Inhaling and feeling your body as you exhale and relax. And as you draw your attention to your breath, one more time, inhale. Exhale and relax. Look at yourself through the eyes of someone else and observe the choices you made today, the behaviors you demonstrate, to notice the thought that you were thinking, the experience you had, and how you felt. Where did you fall from grace? When did you go unconscious? When did you speak in a limited way? How did you react emotionally in certain situations? How long did that last? Simply observe without emotion who you were being and what experience that were being that are familiar to you. New day tomorrow. How would you do it if you had another chance? What thoughts do you want to believe in and surrender to? What choices could you make differently? How could you act that would be more in alignment with that vision of the future that would lead to those experiences that await you? And how would you feel if you mastered a little more of yourself. What would love do? What would greatness do? How would strength live? And rebirth. Into your future, what piece of knowledge could you apply in those past experiences of the day that it would evolve you towards your destiny? Mental rehearsal, primes the brain and body into the future. It's important to review your choices, the better choices. Remind yourself of your behaviors that are in alignment with your new destiny. Invest your attention and your energy into the future new experience by fueling those things with the emotion ahead of the experience. Integrate into your brain and body, reminding yourself one more time the better way of being. Installing the neurological circuitry and conditioning your body subconsciously towards that destiny. And for a moment now, surrender, let go. And now let's review and celebrate the new thought that you embraced, the new choices that you made, and behaviors that you demonstrated that matched your intention and your vision. The new experience, be they small or large, that were new and novel, and become aware of how you felt today. That was different than yesterday. And love yourself for a moment for making those changes. Observe for a moment what you love about yourself. You love yourself enough to be greater than your environment, to be greater than your body, and to be greater than time. choice, always lead to a different life. And now, surrender that day to a greater mind, asking for wisdom, for strength, and the will to live, define this vision of the future instead of memory of the past. Take your hand and place it over your heart and bless right out for your effort. And that new day tomorrow be an opportunity for you to demonstrate a more evolved understanding